What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, sadly, obviously, since the X-Defiant beta has completely ended, God, I miss it so much. I don't think anybody understands how much I really do miss this game. But after it ended, we are, left with very minimal options on what we can go ahead and play. Sadly, I already finished my Battlefield tier, so, I haven't really grinded out too much of Battlefield. The OG CODs, I can always dabble back in those, but right now there is a lot of free content to grind on Modern Warfare 2, so you best believe I'm going to try to get as much free content as possible because, I like to get my money's worth out of the games. And, having to go back to Modern Warfare 2 and trying to get all that stuff and experiencing the game itself, I've seen a lot of people scoop up bundles recently. And, you've already heard my 2 cents on the bundles themselves and how I don't think we should be buying any of these things. But, I'm not here to rant your guys' ears off about this topic. I'm here to rant your guys' ears off about how Infinity Ward has been manipulating these bundles. And honestly, it might not even be Infinity Ward. More than likely, it's Activision, because this is a problem that goes across all studios. Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and Treyarch. I would say Infinity Ward more specifically. The other studios are a bit better, but seriously, it's really bad how they handle these things. And like I said, going back and forth from looking at X-Defiant gameplay over to Modern Warfare 2, this problem has to be addressed. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and hop into the topic of today's video, as usual, we are on the grind to 50,000 subscribers. If you do want to be a part of that process and you enjoy the content that you see today, and also you want to see more of this content, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification button. And also, if you want to see a little extra content besides videos, I do stream every single day over on Kick and Twitch. I kind of switch back and forth on platforms. Today will be no stream. We don't stream on Sundays, but Monday we will be live again and we'll be on Kick. So if you guys want to follow up on all those channels or even my other socials, I have links to pretty much everything in the description of this video. Now back to what I was saying. Going over to X-Defiant, what I noticed, at least in this category of, bundles and stuff like that, is that when you do get a blueprint for your weapon, doesn't matter what you put on it, the blueprint will stay the same. What you guys are seeing right here in front of your eyes is a MP5 blueprint. Basically, if you completed the whole battle pass, you get this, cool styled gun. Now, they do have a lot of camos in the game that are pretty clean, but they also do things just like how Call of Duty does it, where they release bundles or blueprints and stuff like that, where it kind of changes the overall look of the gun. Now, what I want to point out here is that, like I said, no matter what you put on this weapon, I have put on different scopes, I have put on different barrels, I have put on different rear grips, I put on different, underbarrels, I put on different, everything on the MP5. I deck it out however I please. No matter what I do, the weapon stays and looks the same. The only thing that will change otherwise is just the stats, because those are the only things that should be affected, not the visual looks. Now again, going over to Modern Warfare 2, still to this current date, I see people dropping like $30+ on these horrifying bundles, and I still don't know how people are doing it right now, especially with how Activision is abusing the living heck out of us. I mean, come on now, man. We have the worst live service system, the worst microtransaction system, the worst store system out of any game I've seen right now. Well, at least FPS game, because there are some pretty rough games out there. But FPS games, I mean, this is really bad how we're being treated. And people still cough up money time and time again for these bundles. And what happens after they cough up money for these bundles is that when they get the weapon blueprints, whatever they change on that gun, it changes the overall look of the gun, the overall look of the camo, everything. It looks like garbage, absolute garbage. And we have been complaining about this since Modern Warfare 2019. This is not new, okay? This is not new whatsoever. We've been complaining about this since Modern Warfare 2019. And year after year after year after year, they keep producing camos where if you mess with certain attachments, it changes the overall look and vibe of the gun. And to me personally, that's a waste of money because you are purchasing the weapon for the look of it. You don't care about the attachments because, I'm not trying to be mean here, but the majority of the time, the developers don't know what attachments to put on the gun to make them, really, really good. They just put on attachments that make them look good, look fun to use. But realistically, they're not trying to, max out the gun for performance. They never do. You buy the blueprint because it looks cool, and then afterwards you deck it out the way you want so you can actually perform in the game. The problem with Call of Duty nowadays is that, the game is sweaty, right? It's horribly sweaty. And if you want to compete, you have to use your classes to their maximum level. There's no such thing as casual COD anymore, sadly. So you have to always sweat out. You always have, no matter what gun it is, and you don't have to use the same meta gun all the time. I always highly encourage using different guns because I hate meta classes and stuff like that. I hate that stuff so much. But at the end of the day, you still have to optimize those weapons that you want to branch out to be the best that they possibly can. And a lot of people don't want to do that because it changes the overall look of the weapon. It's a waste of cash. It's a waste of money. And they refuse to resolve this issue. And funny enough, to touch upon the topic a little bit more about how the developers, like I said, they don't really know the best attachments to put on the guns. Now, in Modern Warfare 2, you guys already know this, it's not new information, but it proves further to the point. They're now trying to, make you keep the attachments because now they're pro builds, right? They're quote-unquote pro builds. First off, I don't even think the pro players have anything to do with the builds that they're putting out here. So for me personally, it's false advertisement because when I first saw pro builds, in the beginning of the game, I'm like, oh, the pros are actually behind the scenes. They're giving us cool-looking skins, but they're giving us the most optimal weapons. No, that's not really the case. And on top of that, not everybody plays the same. Not everybody can have a perfect playstyle with those set attachments. Everybody has a different vibe, a different flow when it comes to Call of Duty, and different attachments suit your playstyle. So at the end of the day, it could be a pro build, but does that mean that it's a pro build for someone specifically? No, not even close at the end of the day. But like I said, this further proves the point that they're just trying to sell. They don't care about what we want to do with the weapons. They don't care that we want to rearrange attachments or make them, feel the way we want while still maintaining the look of the guns, because if that was the case, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. They wouldn't be saying, oh, this is a pro build weapon now, on top of the camo that it already has, because they're trying to encourage you not to change the attachments, right? Instead of just going through the work and effort of making sure the gun doesn't change the way it looks by putting on different attachments. It's laziness. It really is. They don't want to put in the work and effort to make sure it's all bounced off across the board. So they, like I said, they try to finesse it by saying, oh, look, the attachments are already great as they are on the gun. You don't need to touch them. You don't need to adjust them. When in reality, again, it's just false advertisement. Please, I don't know who that we have to talk to behind the scenes to get this resolved, but it's getting ridiculous. It's becoming a joke. And on top of that, your store is just so horribly cringe. Like, for example, Battlefield 2042. I can hop onto Battlefield 2042 and I can find bundles everywhere. $20 bundles, $25 bundles, whatever, the same price as Call of Duty. But I can go into those bundles and specifically get the camos that I want, or specifically get the weapons that I want out of those bundles. And on top of that, when I change the attachments on top of those bundles, it doesn't really change the look of the gun either. The gun pretty much stays the exact same way. Same thing, like I said in X-Defiant here, I have the MP5 blueprint. I put on all different attachments. I can deck it out any way I want, and it'll still look exactly like it looks right here. It's not going to change anything. It's not impossible to do, not even in the slightest. But they're over here, like I said, they're selling, not only are they selling full bundles where you can't even get what you want out of the bundle. Let's say you do just want the weapon skin, right? You see a full bundle that's $20, and the only thing that's cool out of that is the weapon skin. Well, the only way to get the weapon skin is to cough up $20 and get all the other stuff. So you do so, you get the weapon, horribly overpriced just for one thing, because you don't want the rest of the stuff in the bundle. And then now you find out that you can't even deck out the weapon the way you want because it's going to change the overall looks and vibes of it. The only really good stuff that you can get out of the, I guess, bundles are skins for your characters, and you can't even see those unless you die or execute someone. So when you die, you get to see them, but for, the majority of the purposes, it's to showcase to other players. The thing that you get to see, the weapon, the real good for you guys, when you spend your money, what you get to notice gets completely destroyed. It's a freaking horrible system. Like I said a bit earlier, what hurts the most is the fact that they just refuse to acknowledge us. They know it's a problem. We have been stating it's a problem for year and year and year. And still to this current date, they don't want to resolve the issue. It blows my mind. Like, the majority of my camos in Modern Warfare 2, there's like maybe a square of space that actually showcases the camos still. You're like, honestly, the majority of the time I just put the gold camo on if I have it, because it just covers the whole gun and it's pretty clean sometimes. But like I said, all the other blueprints, it just feels so pointless. Absolutely pointless, unless you got tracers. I mean, the tracers you could see, but again, like I said, I can't see myself coughing up any money for this game. Like I said, the lack of attention from the developers to their community, the lack of awareness on what's going on within the game and what needs to be fixed, on top of a horribly greedy microtransaction system, and on top of that, not even allowing us to edit the guns and knowing it's a problem and refusing to just fix the problem. Yeah. It's disgusting. There's no point. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know down in the comment section about how you all feel about this overall situation. Do you guys agree with me? Do you think that this should be resolved, or, do you see no problem? Seriously, if you don't see a problem, let me know down in the comments. I'm really curious, and give me some examples so I can actually go out and I can check myself and see. But from my current knowledge, it just seems really pointless to purchase any type of weapon skin in Modern Warfare 2. It just doesn't say, unless you want to use the attachments on the gun, or you can find a way that, some of the attachments can be removed and it won't really, overall affect the look of it, then yeah, but I can't, man. Like I said, looking at this gun right here, even if I go up on the screen and just change a bunch of attachments on the MP5 and X-Defiant, nothing changes about the overall look. It's just set in stone, and I love that. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, for brand new enjoy the content, subscribe and that notification button. Also, on chat me, there's two we do so, Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link to that is in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.